All right, you guys might not know this story, but I did a search prior because of a Nygard connection thing. Okay, so that guy Danny Fitzgerald, the one, okay, you know the big drama with Justin Bieber and the story with the pastor, the creepy ass pastor that like raped everybody, that dude from the what was it called? I can't think of what it was called, but they had that huge drama and that blowout with the terrible pastor guys, and they were being predators. And then them talking about how they gave Justin Bieber a baptism in a bathtub. And I was like, I think Justin got touched. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, so this house also was rented out to Facebook. That piece of, you know, that guy over there. And a whole bunch of other celebrities, right? So that guy Danny is Nygard's pal, who also was accused of human trafficking, right? So he used to have Hollywood parties out at this castle place, and I pulled up the photo from his own Facebook, right, of this house, and they put a flyer out, right, and I said there was no, if you guys noticed, there was no age limit, right, and they were asking to bring women there in lingerie. So he got sued, and then the case disappeared. Like the judge told him, don't harass the victims, because he was posting videos on YouTube, like making up stuff and harassing the victims. And then all of a sudden this suit, like, I don't know what happened to it, right? So maybe there was a settlement. I have no idea. The media did not catch up on it. So he sells that house, right? And the house, I don't know how it changed hands. I don't know if he built the house. I don't understand part of his history, but allegedly he's claiming that this house, whatever. Anyway, this house goes to this guy, Jason Derulo, right? Jason eventually buys it in 2014 for $3 million. I don't know. He's a crooner. He's like some crooner dude, and he had a 3-year relationship with American Idol alumni Jordan Sparks. Okay. So there was that thing. So then he buys this compound. Okay. This whole thing looks shady as hell. Everything about them, it's like they're a processed cheese machine. I don't know what the hell in this group of people where they create and help all the TikTok people, the fucking YouTubes, you know what I mean? Like it's this thing that you never wanted to really get involved in, but that's what it looks like. But anyway, he buys the house, I guess. I don't know if he's still in the house. He may have sold it. I have no idea. That was 2014. Maybe he's not in it anymore. But I just wanted to talk about that connection thing, that weird thing with that thing. So I go look him up, and sure enough, he has a sexual harassment claim. And so he has a lawsuit that was filed against him by aspiring singer Emeza Gibson. And then I guess Thursday he addressed the lawsuit filed against him. And he said, he's like, I wouldn't normally comment, but these claims are completely false and hurtful. I stand against all forms of harassment, and I remain supportive of anybody following their dreams. Yeah, from that crowd over there. Okay, so yeah. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring it up because it's a oddball one, and I'm sure nobody that follows me here knows any of these people, but maybe you do, and maybe it's just me again. And Peter Nygard's got a whole list of stuff right now that I would have to do a whole separate clip on, but yeah, he's brought up again now in the media finally, because I guess there's some testimony, some stuff like that. But yeah, this would be things that would go into the series that I was doing on that. See, this is weird. In the Curve, they just did a story, right? And it says, just so you guys know, because okay, this came out February 27th. And in this portion, it says this. Just so you know the background of this, the Los Angeles party house king, right? So he used to have these parties out in the San Fernando Valley. So talk about that. Tarzana Castle. Anyway, it says, according to the Hollywood Reporter, published in 2015, he's now in his mid-60s. Had a humble enough original origin story of son of a beer salesman and waitress in San Fernando Valley. But he had a bigger design. I didn't want to ever have a shitty house, a shitty car. All these white guys are like this, you know what I mean? He said it's a proper American story. After high school, he got contractor's license, started flipping tract homes, and in a span of decades, found himself in the hillside mansion racket. Right? The media is obsessed with our jaw-dropping properties on his website, which, if you're talking about a certain kind of media, is absolutely true. His convex glass mansions have been rented by Nellie, Jason Derulo. So, the media story said he bought that house. So I don't know if there's a conflict, like they're trying to play pretend like he bought it and he technically only rented it. These people are all fake anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was the deal. That's what's weird about it. So he's brought up here, right? Here's his connection to the Nygard clan of people. That's what I was just trying to point out. In the Saudi royalty, they've hosted Playboy reality shows about swingers, Sweet 16, naturally a host included chasing him, whatever. That you can get famous just from living in one of his rentals. In a sizzle reel posted to Instagram last week, Rihanna and post-production smoke effect, whatever. So they're still dealing with these people. Photos. Okay, so The Weeknd, Hulk Hogan, Charlie Sheen, yes, Little Nas X, what appears to be the parties he's suing over. Yeah, the neighbors hate him. Mayor Eric Garcetti disconnected utilities to a TikTok house called Sway House, pledged to more aggressive monitor of the mansion, hijacked the quality of life for neighbors. He was, okay, and then was sued by 10 women who accused him of taking part of in a human trafficking ring, deceived them into living with him, and forcing them into non-consensual sex. So why don't they just say rape? You know what I mean? Last year, an associate of his provided evidence suggesting the celebrity landlord had launched an aggressive smear campaign against his accusers that include a YouTube channel called the Not Me Movement. And so I brought all this stuff up, right? I think it's in a video series I did. But then it doesn't ever once say that he's friends with Nygard, right? It doesn't bring Nygard up. Like, what is this type of this shit right here? Yeah, so there he is with his buddy, Nygard. Yeah, so that's Danny at Peter Nygard's property, and I'm assuming this is in that Marina Del Rey area or something. Let me see. Yeah, at the Marina Del Rey property. And now that's the property that was 15 minutes from my work, right? That one right there. He would fit. Okay, so Danny would bring a female with him to offer to Nygard. So he would bring these girls to Peter. So it sounded like a swapping thing, right? Like, it's just like, hey, I got this girl, and yeah, would you want to rent from this guy? Like, you'll notice all the guys that he rents to or have allegations, right? I mean, I don't know about Justin. Like, I keep finding, when I look for Justin stuff, a lot of this stuff, I keep finding Justin as a victim. Okay, so Justin Bieber was a victim, it sounds like, to the damn perpetrator church guy, right? Then he was a victim to multiple females, such as Katy Perry and what's her name from McCarthy, right? Because they were all like molesting him basically when he was a minor. Then his girlfriend, who was of age and he was underage. Then what was another thing? I don't know. There might be more, and my brain just went woo. But anyway, every time I look for stuff for him, it's like he is the victim actually in the version of the stories that I keep going through. And I remember he was such a target that I think the general population, it was just kind of funny to just like, oh yeah, be with little Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? It was just like a non-thought, which was pretty bad, right? Because he ends up he ends up being on the bad end of it technically. Now, I don't know if he did anything else to other people, but every time I look for stuff, it's always him as the victim. It just so happened to be, right? And he's hanging out with this guy, at a time period with those other people. So, yeah, besides him, the rest of them, though, the people that Justin was hanging out with were a piece of shit. He was very young. That's shitty thing right there, because it's like he's very young. Then he gets in this crowd of a bunch of rapists, drug addict, drinker, you know what I mean? The whole thing. They just corrupted him because he might have done terrible things too. I don't know, but like this group of people corrupted him, and he's around a human trafficking ring. Yeah, it's really bad. Like you could kind of see like the universe going on here. It's just fucking disgusting. Every part of it. I did everything to stay away from that, you guys. Like the minute that that first incident happened, I was like, yeah, no, we're not going to any parties again like that because they're going to turn out to be some like thing like that. The only parties I showed up to were event parties, and the event parties were held like they have them in certain places, and they're pretty that they didn't have anything like that happen to my knowledge, not to me anyway. Not too many. Like I was invited to that one event thing, and then I mean another event thing, and then the other parties, you know, I pretty much try to stay away from. And then the minute I go back to any clubs to go listen to music, then that rape happened, right? So I was like, ah, it's fucking done. We're fucking done. We're fucking done. You know, like, because they're just all rapists. Like, I mean, the chances of that, like, if you don't think everybody's a rapist, the chances of that happening, like, when you haven't gone out in a long time, yeah, so I was like, yeah, that's it. We're done. We're done. We're done. And the cover up and everything like that, no. I was like, if I'm gonna show up anywhere, people are like, I even go anywhere to fucking support any of these son of a bitches ever because of that shit and their cover ups about it and how they fucking downgrade it to nothing. No, there was something major on that. But it's like a processed cheese thing. Like they're all processed. It's like you just go through these people, you go give them some money, and all of a sudden you're famous. It's like I don't even know half these people. It's just like go give him like, because some of his mansions are like 30,000 a month, right? So you go get a group of these fucking idiots and you go rent it for a month and you tape there, and they're all of a sudden like these big famous YouTubers and shit, TikTok. It's just like this processed cheese event that you're watching here. You just go rub up on these guys right here, and then we're gonna rape all the girls, but we're like totally down with all the guys, right? You see what's going on? Uh-huh. They should have all been busted long time ago, but they just let them keep going right now. Like they already know all this, and they're just like, whatever, you know, let them human traffic people out. Okay, I don't know if you guys know about this, because actually when I went through the story, I don't know, I just overlooked it maybe. I went to just re-examine something, and then I just realized that John Travolta and Kelly Preston are friends with Nygard's friends. Okay, this one went woo. Okay, so he has like a tank of allegations, right, for decades over here. Okay, and he's hanging out with this guy named Victorino Noval, and he's like totally friends with Nygard's other human trafficking friend. And so they did this video with like tons of money and chicks and you know this whole thing. And I saw some of that when I was skimming through it. I don't know, last year or the year before, whenever before they all started coming at me, you know, for stem cell Jesus and shit. So I was like, oh my god. And so then in 2020, I'm gonna have to go through all my stuff because I don't know what happened here, dude. But I know that there were some people gunning hard for me. I was like, really? Okay. It says feds probe John Travolta's pals lavish style in 2020 on July 17th. Okay, now the photos with them with the Nygard pals was actually in April of 2018. Okay, 2018. This came out in 2020. Now I might have missed it because of COVID, you know, something happened here, but I this one just went, you know, and I don't like missing anything here. Okay, so a Hollywood playboy who hobnobs with celebrities like John Travolta and Manny is in the crosshairs of the feds over millions allegedly used to fund his lavish lifestyle, right? Including yachts, parties, bikini-clad women. And I'm wondering if this came up because of the Nygard thing. Like, I don't even know. Because they have a video with, like, a stack of fucking money. And there's, like, some security off on the side. And they were just having a big party. And they're just taping it like nothing. Just leave money out like that. You know what I mean? I don't know what the hell they're doing. But then later, in another video, you see him with a bunch of strippers. And there's, like, all these people there. It's, like, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Because some of them look like they're just regular everyday people. And then there's these random strippers in the middle of the fucking, front room there. And they're tossing money and shit. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's totally the party I want to be at. I was like, where's the guy strippers? I mean, come on. But anyway, so they're like assets tied to ex-con Victorino Noval, aka Victor Jesus, Jesus Noval, or yeah, he's a convicted felon. He's like some felon or something. This is John Travolta's friend. Are at the center of a civil for I don't know, some lawsuit filed this week by the attorney office in LA County. Um Over allegedly stolen by his Middle Eastern investors. A criminal probe is also underway. I don't know what happened with this, but it says the son of an arms smuggler. He's the son of an arms smuggler who helped the CIA failed Bay of Pigs invasion to overthrow Fidel Castro. Served time in prison 20 years ago for a scheme to defraud the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And then, well, he's hanging out with the other housing guy, the other human trafficker. I'm just sitting here going, what in the shit fuck is this crap? So then Thursday filing claims a crew since Kuwait officials stole tens of millions of dollars from their government starting in 2010. And then used some of their ill-gotten gains to invest in Beverly Hills land parcel that made headlines in 2018 for its staggering $1 billion price tag, attracting Jeff Bezos, right, among its interested buyers, from Amazon. So while some of the money was invested in the property known as the Mountain, the U.S. developers, a group of feds say, including Noval, also used it to buy a Lamborghini, a yacht, a private jet, Beverly Hills penthouse, and Manny's prize fighter belt and boots that cost $40K, right? Then it's like, they sued him and others for $163 million that he invested in the Mountain, and only to see it spent on aircraft, boats, mansions, exotic dancers, right? And he has denied his clients, I don't know, $5 billion theft known in Kuwait as the military aid fund scandal. It's almost funny. An anti-corruption investor in Kuwait told the Post, but this isn't about an individual stealing from another individual. It's about public servants stealing from the government. That's treason. Sources say U.S. investigators have been asking questions since last year about Noval's wealth, which includes an Italian-style villa in Beverly Hills used to throw a party co-hosted by actor Travolta in honor of Italian producer Oscar in 2018. Yeah, but so Nygard's human trafficking ring there's. Do you guys know this? You probably don't know this because it's on his private Facebook thing separately from like his website. So you'd have to like go through it. And I had already gone through it before. And I think maybe when I looked, I don't know why I would look over it. I have no idea. But I just fucking came back to it. And I was like, oh, what? Because I've been on Travolta for a long time too, right? Because of his Kevin Spacey moves on all the guys. Yeah, so what the hell? Okay, so they did this party in 2018. I was trying to figure out whose house it is because Danny owns all the properties, right? He has a shitload of properties, or did. And then he tries to sell them, I think, and then he'll rent some of them out, and they're all Hollywood. He got into some bullshit from a long time ago, okay? To me, it looks all scammy, okay? This is just my point of view. I don't believe any of these men actually really did anything to get the shit that they have. This is my opinion, and I see some fake ass shit up in here. But anyway, like criminal shit, because people, this just doesn't make any sense. Like the entire story doesn't make any sense. It's like, how do you do this? Because if it was that easy, then everybody would do it, right? So there's some bullshit going on here. There's some criminal shit. So I don't know what Travolta be involved in here too. So then it's like the feds complain, target him, Summit Drive Mansion. Okay. Does it bring him up? The Instagram account for Noval, born in Cuba in 1961. Jet setter lifestyle include photos of fast cars, stars like Travolta, women wearing skimpy bikinis, yachts, a pool draped over a balcony of a posh mansion. The account appears to have been deleted after the post story was published online Friday. Yeah, man, what the fuck? Okay, so then it says Richards has said no knowledge of the crime probe, blah, blah. Okay, let me see something. So, okay, yeah, so this is the party that the human trafficker was at. And then he has private picture. He has pictures of the party and the cake that they used for this big event, right? I mean, and then there's a weird picture that I don't want to post it because I don't even know what the hell is going on in this picture. It's like people dressed like they're going to like a Hollywood event, right? But then in the background, there's some chick in like lingerie in a cage type of thing. And it's like, yeah, I mean, that's a party that I'd walk in and go, what the F? It doesn't make sense, right? It's just like this random, like, chicken, like some lingerie in a cage dancing or something. And then he brings the human trafficker guy brings two women of color with them. They're pretty young, but they look of age, but who knows on this. Anyway, so he brings these two there, I guess, and he takes a photo. I'm assuming it's the same party because in the background, it's just like these guys in suits, and then somebody's in this kind of nice looking dress thing. And then in the video, it had like some security guy in the back and this guy with a ton of money, but I don't know if it's the same event. Because then in the other thing, it has a picture of John Travolta, Preston, and then him, and then they're like up by a kitchen or something. But it's the same event because they're in the same clothes and everything. And so he's there at that event. But they don't mention the Nygard ring here, and I'm just kind of like, who's friends with who? So it could, I mean, they took a picture of John Travolta, but it could be that he's this fool here, the Nygard one, is friends with this thing over here. And then they just happen to be, well, that's his friend. So no, they would be all in tie because John Travolta is his friend. So yeah, what the, God, these people are disgusting. They're disgusting. I cannot stand. This whole crowd is disgusting. They all have allegations, you guys. That's the thing. This guy is a total con man. Then you have the two human traffickers. Then you have rapists like Travolta, or at least he has allegations, right, for eons. And then this other guy just got allegations the other day, right? So I just pulled him up. And that's the ring, okay? Like, it's just a bunch of rapist men. They're just trashy ass rapist men that want the lifestyle, okay? It's vomitous. And so how does John's, what, Preston, when they come up into an environment like this, it's like, what the hell? Like, she's all conservative, right? Like, totally. But they come in and then there's like strippers and shit running around, like some shit like that. It's just oddball. So they knew. It's not a thing where nobody knew, because if you go into these places and they're, taping that shit, they're showing what's there. They're just like, some typical Hollywood thing. We have a kid dancing naked in a cage, some bullshit like that. Typical. That's normal for us. No, the last story that anybody did was they did the shady side of Travolta, and then he's a bad boy who likes risky sexual adventure, former Scientologist exclaimed. Yeah, there's some major, okay, is able to starve off scandal despite allegations of dark side, report says. Not for me, dude. We're not letting you go. I was like, we're not letting you go. You have decades of these allegations, and unfortunately, when this one came out, I thought it was. I feel terrible actually from that original one, because I thought it would. I thought it actually was fake. I was like, oh my god, this guy's all weird, and the way he's talking, and it was like kind of funny. But I actually had to go back. Actually, I had to go back into it, and then I mean, this was a long time ago, guys. This was, I don't even know what year it was, but it was a long time ago. So then I started seeing a whole bunch of other ones. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. No, he's totally doing that crap. So then I had to go back to his story. And then I think like they settled or something. Like there's something to all this stuff. So there's like something. I think he's like paying people off like in the background. And then some more stories came up and then they disappear, right? So I'm like, usually that means, in my opinion, is there was some settlement and then it just kind of goes away, right? Because there's nothing else, they're not doing anything about it, right? Like they'll report it and then they write a story and then they go, I deny it, yada yada, and then all of a sudden it just goes poof, and you're like, okay, yeah, that usually something happened there. Not that the story went away. I mean, not that, somebody wasn't guilty. It's just they may have came to agreements, and the agreements could be like, you can't say another word on this, and we'll give you this much money, and you go, wait, okay? And so then it turns into that. And then John Travolta is actually playing the Russell Brand card of just being a pervert in front of everybody now. Because then he goes and he does that one thing with Scarlett. What was that thing? Where is it? I don't know. He did this thing where he went up to kiss her and grab her, and it was so creepy ass. And, they're like, it was a total setup. I was like, I don't give a shit if it was a setup or not. You're like literally making fun of like some assault type of thing like that. Why? Oh, you want to look like a creepy rapist. Okay, so now you just want to play the part so you could come off, oh, I'm just acting. Yeah, no. He's just fucking, no. He's creepy as hell every time I see him now. He grabs Menzel's face at the Oscars, and they said it was rehearsed. But they said that on another story too. So I'm like, why are you like trying to be a pervert and say it's all rehearsed to be a pervert? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah, battery case from 2000 research. Okay, where is this? Scarlett Johansson should not be defending that. There's nothing strange, creepy, or inappropriate. Bullshit. These people are disgusting. Every single one of them. Like that guy, I thought, I was thinking like this guy might be fake, like this one for some reason it made me feel like a terrible person on the hindsight. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and take it seriously, and I'm gonna go through, because something else came up. There was something else that came up, and then there were some private stories where he went somewhere and somebody did like a blog, right? And then they had some photos with him and this other guy. And then I was like, okay, no, I think that this stuff was totally real. And then we went back. It was somewhere in this early portion, I remember. But they go, yeah, the cruise guy's suit mysteriously dropped. So here's what happened. And it goes like this. But on Friday, a federal judge shut down Travolta's attempt to handle the case in arbitration, right? Instead of going to trial. The judge's decision essentially left Travolta's attorney with two options, right? Go through a messy public trial or reach a settlement with Zanzi, right? That's that guy who did a video. And then the case was dismissed on Monday, but terms were not disclosed. So it's unclear if Travolta made a financial settlement with Zanzi. Of course he did, right? That's what happened. He got a payoff. And so it means that what he alleged was real, and that whole time I thought it was not real. I don't remember this update on it. Probably because I was busy and I worked because it was in 2013. Yeah, I wasn't doing all these mega stories on this yet. And yeah, he did a video. And the video was, TMZ made it seem like it was all fake. Like there was something about the way they presented it. This is crazy, you guys. Check this out. So they made them remove all the videos, I think, from that Monsieur guy. But it was up still. I don't know when. It wasn't that long ago, in the last couple years. Because I pulled it up again. I was like, Travolta, Travolta, Travolta. And I found the video. And I looked in my archives. I do not have a clip with that on it. And I'm noticing a couple of things missing now. So I was like, I know I did a clip thing on this. But then I could be confusing because when I used Twitter, I did the same stuff, right? Like I wouldn't always want to do a video. And I would take the story and I would throw it on there and then do a whole list of things on it. So I don't know if it's because I put it on there or if I did it here and then they took it down or something. I don't know. I'm scratching my head right now because I was like, I know it wasn't that long ago. It would be, I mean, it could be in 2019 that I did it. It was probably most likely before the COVID thing. Okay, so then there was a probe on his friend in 2018 to 2019 or 2020, whatever. Maybe in that period, something here is going on. But anyway, the video's gone. They settled, dude. They settled. It was true. Remember he did an interview? Does anybody remember this? Okay, so that sailor dude, I thought he was a little silly, okay? I don't know, maybe it became, I don't know. I pulled it up though past that 2013 though, for sure. And then they put it private because what happened was, okay, so they made the settlement and I think it just stayed up and it probably, maybe it wasn't even his account. I don't know what happened. Then I went back to it and I was like, now I feel like a piece of shit because I kind of brushed this original thing off. And then I went through it again. Then I pulled up a million other cases. Okay, I know around the time kind of, it was around the time of that casting agents guy, which I have that video on my list. And then he eventually died because then people told me the casting guy that was abusing little boys. And then I could swear that's pre Me Too though. That was like 20, maybe it was like 2017, 18. Okay, but it was up. It's gone now.